I actually forgot I wanted to film this video because I was resetting for the new year and I forgot to start filming in the beginning of January. So I already read 2 books. The first one was a reread, so I wouldn't have counted that one anyway. It was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So obviously that one would have been a 5-star. We would have had to end the video already. Then I read Behind the Net, and that's just like a hockey romance. I gave that 4 stars. So that should have been the first book in this video. I completely forgot about that. So that's my bad, but we're starting now today. The next book, we'll see if it's a 5-star. This is a very high contender. This was like a random pick. I just decided to read this because I haven't made my TBR just yet, so I wanted to give myself some time this month to read this book, and that is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this vlog will either end up being finding a 5-star read, just like the normal type of video that this is, or it'll end up being a House of Sky and Breath reading vlog because this could be a 5-star read. I feel like everyone that reads this gives it a 5-star, freaks out at the ending, is just like mind blown, and cannot wait for the next book to come out, which comes out January, I think 30th, but I didn't love the first one. I think I gave it 3.75 stars, not my favorite Sarah J. Maas book, but I'm very intrigued with this one. I'm about 200 pages in already. I started this not last night, the night before, and I'm gonna start reading a bit today again. I actually got it on my Kindle because this book is just so thick. I don't really like holding a hardcover anyway, but again, this video could end really soon because apparently this book, it just gets crazy. I have some theories written down, so we'll see if I'm right. This whole video will be spoiler free. Even if it just ends up being this book, it'll be completely spoiler free. I'm gonna go continue reading. I'll give some updates on this. We'll see where this video goes from this book. I don't really have any books lined up after this. I do have videos I'm going to film for this month, so there will be some repeats of books. We're just going to go through all the books I'm reading. But right now, this is the one we're going to continue with, and I'll give some updates. If you want my thoughts right now, I think it's a lot more entertaining than the first one. The first one was harder because you're learning so much that going into this one, I like it a bit better because I know the characters and I know the world and all of that, so it's easier to keep up with. I'm really enjoying the storyline of this one a bit more. Again, I'm only 200 pages in out of all of these pages, so there's a lot to get to, and I heard that it slows down just a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. But so far so good. I'm enjoying it. Again, not my favorite Sarah J. Maas world or characters just yet. There's a lot to get through. So I'm gonna keep reading and I will come back with some updates. Fan art on Instagram on my Explore page, and sometimes when I see fan art on my Explore page when I'm scrolling, it just looks like characters I already know of, so I clicked on it and it's a character from this book and their love interest, and I kind of forgot about it, but then I just like read the name and I was like, oh, and now I'm connecting like 18 different dots, and I'm not annoyed about this spoiler actually. I think I'm kind of enjoying that I know this now because I feel like it's gonna take a while for that to really come up and for it to all connect the dots within the storyline, but now I have something in my head that I know that's gonna happen and it's now motivating me to read more, so I'm actually not mad about the spoiler. Usually I'd be really upset that I know 1, who he ends up with or who's gonna get together, 2, who they are in the book, because that's like I feel like a big thing, but I kind of am enjoying it because now I'm motivated to see where it goes. This book also feels like another just huge long 800-900 page mystery. I hate being in the unknown and I'm trying to connect more dots with the storyline, not the characters, and I feel like I'm doing a good job. That's all I have to say. I kind of ruined something for myself, but it's not that big, I think. I'm almost 300 pages in, so slowly but surely getting through this book. There's also one character that I'm so glad continued on into this book. Like, they're my favorite character, and I hope nothing bad happens to them. Hello guys, it is now the next night. I wanted to update you guys on my reading progress of what's going on right now. I think I got like 40% in through Crescent City, which is almost 300 pages, I think. On the Kindle, I think it's more pages than the actual book, but in the book, I think I'm almost 300 pages in, which I'm more interested still in this storyline, I think, than the first one. It's definitely more intriguing, but there's so many pages to go. I can't even fathom what's gonna happen or if this is just where we're staying until the end of the book. So I'm either gonna get bored or I'm still gonna stay intrigued, but I'm gonna read a bit later tonight or tomorrow more of this one, and then I actually started picking daisies on Sundays, which you guys will see or have seen. If you guys have watched my outfits pick my books that I read video, I read this one, or I'm currently reading it now, but I've already read it if you watched that video. I don't really know the timeline of this, but I started this like a few hours ago and I haven't stopped reading it. I've been binging it since I started. I'm on page 196. There's 300 pages and I completely forgot to update that I started a new book for this video, or just in general I started a new book. I don't see myself giving this one 5 stars. I do see myself giving it maybe around a 4-star range, but I will update you guys when I finish this and when I continue this and what book I start next. Usually I don't read 2 books at the same time, but I'm filming a video and I really want to get through this book, and I may start an audiobook once my Spotify hours come back because I used up all of them, so we'll see when the time comes what book I start next, what I rate this and everything. But that is my update right now. I'm probably gonna finish this tonight and we'll see maybe tomorrow what's going on after this. I just didn't want to be too repetitive because I know this is already in a video, so I didn't want to say too much about it, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really sweet story, and if you want my full thoughts on it, definitely go watch the outfits pick what I read video. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll come back with updates and we will see how this goes. It is the next day. Again, if you want more opinions and thoughts on this book, it's in my other video, but I just finished it this morning. I gave it 4 stars. It was really sweet, rom-com type of read, really fast-paced. I completely binged it. That's why I don't have too much footage on this book, but not a 5-star. And why I'm updating right now is because I'm actually starting 2 more books, so now I'm going to be in the middle of 3 books. We still have Crescent City 2, which I'm putting on the back burner just for a little bit. I'm going to read here and there this week, but not too much, because I'm starting the Bromance Book Club for the same outfits video. You guys can see opinions and everything in that video, just like the last book, but we'll see if this is a contender or not. What I do think is gonna be a contender is the arc of Into the Dark that I got this morning. What? So I downloaded that onto my Kindle this morning. Here she is in all of her glory. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read it on the Kindle. Obviously, I can't just have this sit here and not to do anything about this. So I'm gonna start this for myself and for this video, and all of the highlighting I do with the Kindle app and everything, I'm gonna put into the physical copy I get of it, because I know this is my favorite series to annotate, and I really know I'm gonna love like physically annotating the quotes I feel like I'm gonna find in here. So I am gonna start this for this video, and I feel like now we're kind of in a race between this book and Crescent City 2. Now, who knows? Maybe these books, to my surprise, won't be 5 stars. In my head, they are gonna be. Who knows what's gonna happen? I want to take my time with this book. I don't really want to rush it. I want to really savor it. It's the last of Magnolia and BJ's story. If you don't know, Into the Dark is Magnolia Parks' last book in Magnolia and BJ's point of view. There's still Daisy Hates books to come out in the other characters' point of views, but last one in their point of views, which is my favorite and my favorite storyline to follow throughout the series. It's the last one. I want to savor it. I think I'm gonna read it at a slower pace. We're gonna be starting this. We're gonna be starting the Bromance Book Club, and I'm gonna continue reading Crescent City 2. There's a lot going on, but I'm excited. So many good reads happening right now. Few days since I have filmed for this video specifically. I was filming another video, so if you want my thoughts on my last 2 reads that I showed you guys, I gave them both I think 4 stars. I think I gave one 3.75 and the other one 4. I'm kind of blanking out right now, but my last 2 reads were not 5 stars, and all of my thoughts on those books are in the video I filmed for it. I stopped reading Into the Dark. I read literally a chapter and I was like, I can't have 3 books going at the same time while reading this. I want to give it my full attention. It's taking everything out of me not to just sit and read it. Like, the way that it's just on this Kindle is really messing with me because I just want to open it up and read it, but I want to give it my full attention. So I finished the reads for the video I was trying to film. I want to finish this first and foremost before going into the Dark, because this just being in the back of my mind when trying to focus on Magnolia and BJ and like the last book for them. I just need to finish this first. So I think I'm like a little over 60% of the way through. I'm reading it on my Kindle like I said, but trying to like see in the book what page I'm on. I'm like kind of keeping track between the both of them. So I'm on page 495, so I'm about to hit page 500, and there's around, I think it's 800 pages. So I have about 300 pages left, which is actually a great thing to hear because I'm losing motivation and hope in this book. I will say now I don't think this is going to be a 5-star. It doesn't matter how crazy the ending is. Getting to that ending, I don't think it's worth being a 5-star. I feel like I will commend Sarah J Maas's like just brain and the way she can come up with so much and everything kind of like intertwining to create probably such a crazy ending and just a series in general. Like she can make characters and storylines intertwine in such a crazy way, like something I could never imagine doing myself. But I think for this series specifically, I just think if you're gonna have a crazy ending and just like a mega huge plot twist, which I'm assuming is what it is, or a crazy cliffhanger after this like huge slow burn of a story, like mega slow burn, I think at least make it entertaining. Like there's some scenes that I'm like really into and really like intrigued to see what's happening. I'm like on the edge of my seat, but then majority of it, like that's just like a small percentage of the book. Majority of it is just really dragged out. I'm also not really attached to any of the characters, so like I don't really like feel anything for what's going on, so I'm just following along with the story trying to get to the end of it. So I think that's just a personal problem with this one, that I haven't connected to any of the characters. I like a few of them a lot, but the main characters I just don't really like. I don't really like them. They're not my favorite Sarah J Maas characters. They're really on the bottom of them. It's just painfully slow. Like it's so slow. But then again, she's like creating so many different things, and the way that she can create this story and all of these intertwining storylines, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see myself giving this one 5 stars. We will see. My mind can completely change. We'll see by the end of it. I want to finish it probably tomorrow. I'm like really hoping I finish it tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to start Into the Dark, and also another kind of exciting book that's been on my TBR for a really long time that I need to read this month. So yeah, I'm going to go keep reading. We're going to finish House of Sky and Breath, and we'll see how I feel. Literally, I'm so excited to know the end of this book because I'm just having huge FOMO not knowing what's happening at the end of this one. And I'll give you guys updates and reactions, I guess, to the end of it, see if I am blown away and shook as I've seen everyone else has been. Clip I was talking and I was kind of negative about this book because I was just fed up with it dragging out and I was just a little bored. I wasn't connected to anything that was happening. Well, I'm 93% in. I think I have about maybe 50 pages left. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, I have 50 pages left of the book, and I don't know what happened between the last clip and this clip in these like past few hundred pages getting to this point, but I'm nervous, they're nervous, we're all nervous right now. And I think I've connected to the characters between these 2 points, and I don't know how that happened or where that happened. I did love like majority of the side characters, like a lot. It's like the main girl, not my favorite main character, but not my favorite kind of like romance in the SJM world, I guess you can say. But I don't know what happened between these 2 points of me talking about this book, but I'm now on the edge of my seat to finish this, see what's gonna happen. I have so many thoughts in my head, but I don't think not one of them is right. And I don't know if it's because it's like a high stakes situation going on that I'm now nervous and connected and attached and need everything to go right and well, but I don't think that's gonna happen at all because when does it ever? It's time to finish. I'm really nervous, but like I don't know what happened between the last clip and this clip. Like I don't know where the switch was, but all I'm gonna say is I'm nervous and I'm gonna go finish now. it's a lot to take in after finishing Magnolia Parks 2 and Daisy 8's 2. Going over some stuff so early on in the book, it's so sad. Anyway, we'll talk about Crescent City 2 tomorrow and whatever I read of Magnolia Parks tonight. I'm really going through it though, so I'm gonna try to read some tonight. I already have so many annotations. Like, you can see all of the pink are all just annotations. It's a lot to take in the beginning of a book, but I feel like this may set the tone for the rest of the book, which I think is crazy. I think it's gonna be just a crazy ride to get to the end of it, but I'm gonna read as much as I can tonight and we'll update tomorrow. I also don't know why I'm reading on my phone. I just started doing that. I don't know why I'm not reading on my Kindle, but I don't know. We'll talk tomorrow about all of this. As we all know, I finished Crescent City 2 yesterday. I was talking about how I kind of connected to the characters as the time went on, and I don't know what really switched for me. I think it was the high stakes situation that was going on. I was like, wait, maybe I do care about these characters. So as that was progressing, I was like, no, I do care more about them than I thought. There are some characters that I care more about and want to see more of their story, and they're all side characters that I really, really like the most. I want more of their story and all the stuff that's happened with them and their like progression in the storyline. I feel like I really want those questions answered and their storyline more than anyone else's, like more than the two main characters. Like, I want those side characters and their story to continue, and I want those questions answered more than the main characters, if that makes sense. The ending was absolutely crazy. Like, it is definitely crazy that Sarah J Maas can create such an intricate, intense, incredibly like woven storyline. Like, I don't know how her brain works. Like, seriously, she is a mastermind basically. So I do think everyone hyping up the ending of this book and being like, the ending is so crazy, like, I do agree with that. I will say, when I started this book in my notes app, I wrote down, I'm starting this on today, whatever the date it was, and this is what I think the ending is going to be. And you know who guessed it right? This girl. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I guessed it right, but I think just seeing everyone like freaking out and like the little subtle things that I knew about the storyline, I was like, this has to be it. So I did guess it. I didn't really guess like how exactly it was gonna happen, but I did figure that one out. If this ending wasn't the way that it was, I don't think I would have continued the series, because I just personally didn't really care about like the storyline it was taking. But with the way it ended, I feel like I just have to know what happens, and like I can't sit on these unanswered questions and storylines and like the way the cliffhanger is. Like, I need to know. So I am excited to see what she does with this series. Like, eventually, like, so much could happen. So many theories that I've seen now since I was able to go on like TikTok and see all the spoilers and all the theories. Like, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do with it. So I definitely am gonna read the third one. I'm really anticipating it now. I don't know how people waited 2 years for this next book to come out. Like, that is a crazy cliffhanger. I think I gave this one 4.25 stars. I was gonna give it 4. Like, that was gonna be my like normal rating. The way it ends into the flow of the rest of the series, like, I do think I want to give it a 4.25. It's not my favorite book, but I do think the way that Sarah J Maas has made this storyline, created these characters, all of the politics between it, the world building, like, it is just really intense and crazy, that I think it deserves a 4.25. I then continued on with Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I'm holding off filming other videos and reading other books until I finish this one, except I am listening to, or I'm gonna start listening to, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So we have 2 more books going at this time. I haven't started Invisible Life yet, so I'm gonna let you guys know how I feel about that eventually, but right now we're gonna be reading Into the Dark. I don't remember how far I got. I think I'm like a few chapters in. I'm not too far in, but last night I was going through it because she really starts off this book with a bang. Like, she starts it off with how the end of like the last book, like something big really happens, and it kind of goes into this new book rehashing it almost, and it's really intense. So that was like kind of how it started off. Like, it started off on just like a very intense start. So on chapter 4, I'm excited to see BJ and Magnolia's journey in this one, to see if they grow as characters and see how they are after what happened in the last book, like as characters and as like all with all the side characters, kind of what their journey in this one's gonna be, because I feel like it's gonna be very different from the other one. So I'm excited to see. This video may end here because I don't know how I couldn't give this 5. We'll see, but in my head I just don't know how I couldn't give this 5 stars personally. I'm gonna continue reading this. I'll give you guys updates as it goes. I feel like I can't say too much about it because it's further into a series, but I'll try my best to say what I can about it. Also because it's not out yet. I think it comes out February 13th. I'll be very vague with what I'm saying, but I'll give you feelings and opinions, ratings, and of course all of that. Let's continue reading. I'm on chapter 4. We're in BJ's point of view and hoping things get a little happier maybe. We'll see. I guess since this is the arc, if you've read Magnolia Parks, a big part of it is in Magnolia's point of view when she's talking about fashion. They kind of name drop brands and what they're wearing, gives very specific details and outfits. And I guess since this is the arc, those aren't in here. So I'm so excited to get my copy of the book and see all the times that they're talking about the outfits and stuff, because in here it just says like fashion or something like that, but I want to know all the outfits she's wearing, because that was one of my favorite parts, like looking up the Magnolia Parks closet Instagram and seeing all of the outfits. I loved that part of the book, so I'm excited when the book comes I can read through again, because I know I'm gonna go into the book and annotate everything I've been highlighting and underlining, which is gonna take me so long because I'm highlighting so much. But I'm excited to see the outfits that they're talking about, because I feel like that's a big part of it. This one I feel like I said, is a little bit different, like storyline that's following compared to the other ones. I don't want to give too much away, but I feel like the two characters have so much baggage from just their lives in general, and there's just has been just like a last straw, a last incredibly traumatic straw, and now it's like one extra huge hurdle to figure out, especially as a couple but also like individually. So seeing the way that they are right now after what happened at the end of the last book was just like, it's hard to read. I don't know. I will say though, I am enjoying it. Jessa's writing in this series is so beautiful. The way she can create some metaphors and the way she can relate things and how these characters are feeling through her writing, it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. I also love in this whole series how when you're in the character's point of view, it's like they're talking to you. It's not like you're reading their story and whatever. It's literally like you're in their head, and it's so interesting to see like how their mind works and how they're doing all these day-to-day things and like what's actually happening. It's like you can really like tell who they are as a person with Jessa's writing and the way she writes them. I'm only 18% of the way in. I don't know how many pages this is. It's not really telling me. I wish I could see. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm 18% of the way in. I want to read a bunch tonight, so we'll see how far I get, but that's all I'm gonna say. This book definitely has the same drama that Magnolia Parks books have. I just feel like it has like a heavier undertone to it, and it's such an interesting mix of like the usual Magnolia Parks and all the characters and what's going on in their lives. Like you're definitely catching up on everyone between what happened in the last book to this one. Like you're kind of seeing where everyone is at in their lives, and it's very interesting to see that. So you get all like the drama and the tea and everything, but then you also get such important topics to this story that Jessa is really going through and explaining it through the eyes of Magnolia and BJ, and I'm really enjoying the way that Jessa's doing that. And again, I know I'm being really vague because I obviously cannot say anything, but that's how I'm gonna explain this. And also last night I was reading this part where I'm saying now how Jessa is using this topic and using this, not topic, but using this feeling and thing that people go through, and it's majority in Magnolia's point of view of what I'm talking about, but there was this one part in our point of view last night and Two Ghosts by Harry Styles was playing in the perfect scene, and it was like the perfect song to go along to what I was reading, and not in a way as a couple, do you know what I mean? Listen, I don't know how to explain this without being vague, and it probably makes no sense what I'm saying, but so now I can't stop listening to Two Ghosts by Harry Styles, and it's hitting very hard. And also, just as said, the song that kind of relates to this book the most is Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter. Do with that what you will. I've been listening to my BJ and Magnolia playlist while listening to this. I made that playlist after listening to, or after reading the second one, did I make it? And it was kind of just songs that relate to them either individually or together as a couple throughout the first two books, and some of them still make sense with this book, but I feel like I need to make a whole new playlist of whole new songs for this book because this is just such a different thing that they're going through. And there's still some parts where it's like I'm annoyed at the characters. It's not like things have changed completely with how the characters act and stuff, but yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't really know if any of that made sense, so I'm sorry if it didn't. I'm like trying to figure out how to word things about this book without saying anything about the details in it, but it's kind of hard. I've also been highlighting and like quoting and putting my notes in like a crazy woman. Like I can't stop. I cannot wait again to get the physical copy and just annotate it. It's gonna take me forever because I have so many, but it's gonna be so good. There's so many good quotes in here. Also, one more thing before I continue. Let me take these off because the glare is annoying. But when I read these books, these characters just feel so real, but in such a weird way, because obviously I've never met characters like this. I don't know the high class society of anyone, but they just feel real with the things that they do, the mistakes they make. I don't know how to really explain it. They just feel real to me. And it hasn't hit me that this is the last Magnolia Parks book, like the last book in Magnolia and BJ's point of view. Not sure when it's gonna hit me. Maybe when I finish the book and realize, wait, that's all I'm getting of these two and their point of view. I'm really not okay that this is the last one. We're getting more Daisy Hates books, which makes me really excited because we'll definitely see them in the background, but this is the last one that's theirs. It's just so upsetting. I'm so sad over it. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm 43% in. I want to just get halfway today. I feel like that's a good point for me to stop because I have some work to do, but I really want to get halfway. I'm also trying not to rush this book. I kind of just want to read it when I'm in the mood for it, when I want to read it. I don't want to like push myself to finish this again. It's the last book, so I'm not rushing anything about reading this. I don't think this part is supposed to be sad. It's just I'm almost 60% in, and I think it's just what they're doing and how much it's changed. I think these are happy tears. I don't know. It's like a mix of happy and sad. Wait, shit is going down right now. I did not expect this. I mean, I knew this, but like them speaking it out loud is something I didn't expect. Oh my god, this is wild. Okay, I finally hit 60% of the book, but the 50% mark to the 60%, everything that happens between that, like so much. I didn't record myself when I was reading like when I hit 50%, but it was just like a knife to the heart. Like it was just pure pain happening, and it wasn't anything that I didn't expect to happen. Like I knew that would have to happen, but just that's all I'm gonna say. It was just like pure, it hurt, like physically it hurt my heart. What just happened, like it was pent up. Oh my god, that was just like insane. Again, I'm reading this kind of slow. It's been a few days since I've been reading. I finally hit the 60% mark now, but I'm gonna stop. I want to read it slowly to savor it, and every time I come back to it, it's just something after something. So this book is crazy. Okay, so I know I've been talking about Magnolia Parks Into the Dark majority, but I also have been reading and have read other books while reading this one. I forgot to put that in this video, but I'll tell you guys what I've been reading slash what I have read slash what I've DNF'd, because I had my first DNF this year. I didn't want to put in too much of these books because they are in another reading vlog. I didn't want to get too repetitive, but I did start The Game Plan by Michaela Smeltzer, and I actually DNF'd it. This is my first DNF of the year. This was in my reading the highest and lowest rated books on my January TBR, and this one was one of the lower rated ones. I did DNF it. I just didn't really connect with the writing style of it. It kind of felt a little Wattpad-y almost, and I didn't really love the main characters. And not that there's anything bad about that, I just don't really connect to that writing style too much. And I got like 90 pages in and I knew I wouldn't enjoy it. And I told myself this year, if that happens, I'm DNFing it. I'm gonna find a book that I can enjoy and I know I'll enjoy, so I unfortunately did DNF this. And then I went into Collided by Lauren Asher. This one is in the same video, and this one I think I gave 3 stars. I don't know, I was teetering between a little bit lower than a 3-star or a 3-star, but I ended up I think on a 3-star. This wasn't my favorite read. I felt the same way about the first book in the series. This is the Dirty Air series, and the first one is called Throttled. I gave it 3 stars as well. I like that one just like a tiny bit more, but I felt the same about this one as I did with that one. The relationship which kind of starts off insta-lovey, kind of purely just like physical tension connection almost. I didn't really love the main guy in this one, like kind of at all. He was saying some things that were, I don't know, he kind of put it on too thick and too heavy, and I didn't really enjoy him too much, and just the storyline in general wasn't my favorite. I didn't really connect with the characters, but the story was definitely more entertaining, and I did enjoy Lauren Asher's writing. Just the characters weren't really my favorite in a romance book. And then I'm currently reading, as you guys know, Magnolia Parks. I have 40% more of this book. I want to finish it this weekend, and I'm also reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is kind of, we know how I'm gonna feel about Magnolia Parks. I mean, there's still a slight chance Is there though that it's not a 5-star? I don't know. Obviously I have not finished, so we'll figure that one out. But this book is really, really good. I was kind of on the fence if I was going to enjoy this one or not, because I have about maybe a little over 100 pages left, but I'm reading this because it's our book club book of the month, and I've had this on my shelf for so long. I've talked about wanting to read this so many times, but the reason I haven't really picked it up is because I've heard so many people say it's such a slow-paced book, and whenever I hear that, I just assume it's going to slump me out and it's going to take me a while to read, so I haven't really wanted to pick it up. I've also heard you either absolutely like fall in love with this book or you don't really love it. You kind of either want to DNF it, it's too slow, nothing's really happening. So I was kind of nervous to see which side I fell on, but I started this a few nights ago. I've been going back between reading it and listening to the audiobooks. It's on Spotify and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I think I actually like that I had the preconceived notion of it being a slower paced book, because while reading it, I know that like not much is really going to happen, but I'm kind of just taking it as it goes and I'm really enjoying the storyline. At first, it definitely was a lot slower in the beginning because you're kind of just building up what it's about. And it's basically about this girl, Addie, who was born in the 1700s, and she made this deal because she wanted like freedom. She wanted to be free, but she made the deal with the wrong person at the wrong time, and it cost her the ability of her other people to remember her. So she has this freedom to really do whatever she wants, but the cost of it was no one's going to remember her. So she has also lived so many years. I think she's been alive for 300 years now, going through the motions of no one remembering her. Like, it's been so long, and it flips timelines in the beginning from like the 1700s on of her striking this deal and kind of figuring out how to live life now, and then more present time, it's like 2014, her in the city, and now she's kind of gone with the motions of having no one remember her, and you kind of can see how this is all lined up almost. But so far I'm really enjoying the writing style of it. I feel like the author has very much intention with what she's writing, and you kind of feel like these scenes are a little bit boring and they're just like kind of thrown in there, but I feel like there is intention for what the author is putting into these storylines and these scenes, and I'm really enjoying her writing style. It's very beautiful. There's like a lot of lyrical writing to it, and I love the metaphors she uses, and I like that I know that it's a little bit slower and it was going to be slower. I feel like that has definitely helped me out while reading it. So I want to finish this weekend. I'm gonna go listen to a bit more of this and we will talk about this when I finish it. This could have a high rating, I don't know, we shall see. And then when that's over, I mean, it could be a 5-star. Who knows? I mean, I'm not like fully feeling the 5-star feeling, but like I have this connection to it, I feel like, which I'm very surprised that I do. I felt like I was gonna fall on the side of it being slow and like not really wanting to get into it, but it's been going really well. And then I'm gonna finish Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, but I guess we'll see now what happens, and I will update you guys, of course. I'm nervous to finish both of them. Also excited because I'm really enjoying, of course, Magnolia Parks. This one's just, I don't even know. I have no words for this one right now. And then this one, I'm excited to see how this one ends. Had to change it. You can't just put One Direction in my headphones in my ears and expect me to pay attention to the words on the page. Like, that can't happen. It's either one of two things. I'm listening to One Direction or I'm reading. Two things can't happen at the same time. Back to the book. I'm almost done and I'm really nervous because lots has happened since I read last and listened to last. I found out a lot when I was listening to it a few hours ago. Like, a lot was happening, and like I said, the pace of this book is really slow. I feel like the author has so much intention with what she's writing, so when I found out these like few things, she wrote it so beautifully, and like the storyline was so beautifully done that when that happened, I was like, I was shook. I didn't expect it. It's like you don't expect it because the pace is so slow and it's just like a lot of lyrical writing. It's really character driven. You're just kind of following the character of what she's going through in both timelines, and then something crazy is happening. You just don't expect it because it's like, again, slow pacing. It's not like high stake, nothing really, but then something important happens and you're not expecting it, and it shook me. So I'm almost done. I have like 40 pages left and I'm really nervous to see how this ends. It's either gonna be heartbreaking or a happy ending, and like something in my heart is telling me it's gonna be heartbreaking, just with the vibe that I've been getting from this story. So I'm gonna go finish and we'll see, I guess. Survive this if this is how it ends. Oh gosh. lashes done today. These tears are gonna ruin them. I don't know if I can finish. This is so sad. I can't do this with this song playing right now. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. I'm sorry. I'm like prolonging the inevitable right now. Okay. The way she's writing it is like so beautiful, but it's so painful. I did not expect this book to take like this kind of turn. I don't even know like what to think. I cannot believe this was on my shelf for that long and I just didn't read it. Not doing well. Okay, I need to like process this book. Okay, as you guys saw, I finished Addie LaRue last night. I went through so many emotions with the end of this book. It's not what I expected at all. I knew I loved this book because after I finished it, I went down a Pinterest, TikTok, like all of those rabbit holes. I needed to see all the fan art. I needed to see all the videos on this book. And then I went on Goodreads. I read so many reviews. Like I needed to intake so much about this book after finishing it. It's all I could think about last night. And I was like, well, I'll finish Addie LaRue and then I'll read Magnolia Parks before bed. But no, I finished this and that's all I could think about. Like literally the whole entire night. It was just such an experience, and sleeping on it and waking up today, I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I was so close to giving it 5 stars. I'm not even kidding. Like this book, literally not what I expected at all, but just the fact that it was kind of slower in the middle parts, and I knew that that was gonna happen. Again, I was told before reading this, like it's slow paced and everything, but it was pretty slow in the middle. I will say, after finishing it and like knowing the whole storyline and where it all was gonna go and where it all went, I now appreciate the detail she puts into all of the different scenes that feel really slow and feel like there's no point to them. But again, I feel like there's so much intention to it, and after finishing it, I appreciate it now, appreciating seeing all those extra details and extra scenes. But I can also understand why people DNF this book, can't really get into it. I feel like you kind of have to be in the mood for a book like this, kind of character driven, lyrical, poetic kind of storyline, and just following along these characters and over so many years, you know what I mean? I feel like it's not a book if you want to like sit and I mean, you can sit and binge it, but I just feel like it's one that you kind of have to take as it goes. You know what I mean? I don't really know if that makes sense, but I loved this so much more than I expected. I cannot believe that this story was just like sitting on my shelf this whole time. It was just so like heartbreaking but beautiful, and the last like 20-30 pages I couldn't even see the words. I was just crying the whole time, and I feel like if you can connect to the characters, it really does hit. But I feel like if you can't really connect to anything about it, it's like you'll probably DNF and you probably won't really care where it goes. So I can see both sides to it 100%, but personally I connected to it. I loved the audiobook as well. The narrator of the audiobook and the different voices and all of that, I think really told the story really beautifully, and it was just such an experience. I feel like I was just being told this beautiful story of like heartbreak and almost like this poetic storyline of a character that just wants freedom but is stuck in being invisible, and all these things happening to her, and she finally gets something that she will. I could talk about it forever. I also know that I love it because I now want to go buy the paperback so I can go through it again, annotate it, put tabs in it. Like I feel like after reading it, I want to go back in and see all of the pieces kind of falling into place. I was so close to giving this 5 star. I really am like, some days maybe when I think about it, it could be a 5 star. Like it definitely hit me. It made me feel things, and when a book makes me feel something, I know that that's a good book, and I know I'm gonna think about it for a while, and that's what this did. But again, it was definitely slow in some points. I appreciate it now, but like in the moment, it wasn't feeling like a 5 star the whole time. But after finishing it, and the ending really did it for me, it really kind of solidified how I felt. I did not expect the ending to go that way, but yeah, I really just appreciate the writing style in this, and the storyline, the characters, and like the little metaphors and the meanings behind things. I really enjoyed enjoyed it. So I could talk about this one for a while, but I think I'm gonna do a 4.5 and kind of just sit there. I feel like that's a good rating. Maybe some days it'll feel like a 5-star. I would definitely recommend it, but again, I feel like you have to be in the mood for a book like this. Like, you can't just like pick this up ready to like binge it, get some high stake little fantasy story. It's nothing like that. It's definitely, I wouldn't even say like on the cozier side. It kind of just feels like a mix between like a historical fiction and a fiction story thrown in with some magical elements to it. It doesn't really feel like a fantasy book, do you know what I mean? I don't really know what genre this is under. I'm so happy I finally read this. So shout out to our book club for choosing this one for our January books. If not, this would have been on my shelf. I just know it would have been sitting there for who knows how long this year. Yeah, I'm very happy that I read it. And sticking with the 4.5, I'm gonna go, I think, finish Magnolia Parks today. I'm so happy that I have Magnolia Parks to read after this, because if I had to pick up another book, I think this would have slumped me out. But knowing that I'm going right back into the story of Into the Dark, I'm like, I'm feeling good about it. Well, not actually feeling good about the storyline, but I'm feeling good that I'm not really in a slump. Like, I'm excited to continue reading. I'm so nervous to see how it ends. I think I have like 35% of the book left, so I'm really nervous, but I'm gonna go finish that and we'll see how it goes. Left of this book, and I feel like we've had so many revelations through this book. Not we. I feel like especially Magnolia, I feel like she's had to look head on at some things that she's had gone on in her life, I guess, and in this book she definitely has to like confront, I guess you can say. I don't know how to vaguely say this, but we've gotten to the point in the book where but something just happened and it was really good. Happy tears. Happy tears. I am happy in this moment, but I have 10% left. I am really nervous. That's about like an hour left of the book, so I'm gonna read a bunch tonight, or try to, and finish it tomorrow morning, and I'm really nervous to see how this ends. I know it's not gonna be like the most happily ever after, but I feel like maybe a little bit happy. At least just like a good ending. It's so sad to say characters. Like, I feel like they're real people just living off in London. That's a sad thought. Anyway, I just wanted to update that I'm almost done with it. I also feel like this book has less of a plot than the other two. Like, this one's structure is definitely different. I feel like it's all of these books are character driven rather than plot driven. I feel like that's just Jessa's kind of writing style, which I love so much. But this one, I feel like most out of all of them doesn't have like the most structured plot, which I'm enjoying a lot. It's kind of just following them day to day, as you did in the other ones, but this one more so of them trying to figure out more things, and I'm really enjoying that part of it, because it's just like you don't really know what's gonna happen like at all, or what they're gonna go through, or what anyone's gonna say, and you still get the personality of everyone, but they're going through a lot, so we've gone through a lot with them. So at this point it's like I don't even know how it's gonna end, but I am excited to see. I'm going to try to read a bunch tonight, but I will let you guys know when I finish. I'll try to get some reactions of finishing this. I just know I'm gonna be a mess, so why not get it on camera, you know? I also have my House of Weather Parks crew neck on because in honor of finishing this, I had to wear it. Doing too well. My whole face is wet right now from the tears. It's so crazy how words on paper, not even paper, words on a Kindle, on a literally an electronic reading device are making me cry like this. Like, that's so unreal. And the fact that these are just like not real people and I'm crying like this. I only have like 7% left now, which I only read 3% since we talked, but a lot has happened. I need to finish. I'm not doing well. Got here. It's literally 8 a.m. and I'm just crying. I'm just casually, you know, crying over fictional characters that aren't real, and I can't process in my head that they're not real, and how we even got here is insane. And this is the last book of them. I have 2% left. I don't want to finish, but I have to. Okay. Be the last one. I just can't believe this is the end of reading about Magnolia and BJ. Can't believe I finished the last Magnolia Parks book in their point of view. I'm so happy we get more Daisy books because lots happens in here that you're kind of questioning what's going to happen in those books, and I'm ecstatic to read them. I know they're going to be crazy and also painful and also just so much going on, but this video can end. And I think we knew that when I started reading this book, that this was going to be the last one for the video. And I feel like that's cheating because going into this book, I knew in my heart it was going to be a 5-star read. But I also feel like it's a beautiful way to end this video because my first 5-star of last year, and I did this video too, I found Magnolia Parks in that video. And I think it's just really full circle for my first 5-star of this year to be the last Magnolia Parks book in the series. I was going to keep going and not use Magnolia Parks as the 5-star, but it just feels right to do that. So I can't believe it's been almost like a full year of finding Magnolia Parks, falling in love, and just like going through the series. It's just such a crazy thing to think about that it's been a year and now we're done with their point of views forever. I don't even know how to feel. I feel like empty, but also like it truly was the perfect way to finish off their story. Everything that happened in this book just makes sense to them, and things that they needed to go through to get to where they were by the end of it. It all makes sense. Jessa has such a beautiful way of writing this series, and the metaphors and the love that she can portray in her words and what they go through. Like, she wrote one specific topic that happens at the end of the last Magnolia Parks book because everyone goes through this thing differently, you know what I mean? So I love the way that she did it, and especially in Magnolia's point of view. Like, Magnolia in this one, we've seen her go through so much in the other two books, but this one is like none other than Magnolia has gone through, which is so crazy because they've gone through so much as a couple and individually. And I feel like in this book it was really just them figuring out and almost like healing in a sense together and individually, and they had to do that before they could really move on with anything. It's been a long time coming. Cue Taylor Swift, but literally a long time coming getting anywhere. as a couple and where they are now. But I'm gonna wait for the book to come out before I can say anything else. I have so much to say, so much I want to talk about, but I'm so excited for this to come out and people to read it. It's just the perfect way to end. And I feel like, I think it's like 700 pages. It doesn't really say on the arc, it just says like location on the Kindle, not page count, but I could have read 700 more. I could read 700 more. I want to read 700 more, but that's okay. This is what we get, and I think it was just a wonderful way to end it, and I cannot wait to get my physical copy to annotate and tab and add to my collection. And yeah, I can't wait for the Daisy Hates books to come out. But that is the end of this video. I'm so happy that we have gotten here. I feel like I've read some pretty good books in this video. I mean, it wasn't a lot. I feel like all my other reading till 5-star videos, I have plenty more books in them because it takes me a while to get to a 5-star. I feel like I'm a little bit picky, but this one was just like, I knew in my heart it was gonna be a 5-star. I would love to do this video again sometime this year and see what other 5-stars we get this year, but this one, it's just a really secure 5-star. That's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you read any of the books in this video, your opinions on them, your thoughts, if you're gonna read Into the Dark, and when you do, let me know your thoughts, please. I'm dying to know other opinions on this and just seeing other people's reactions to some stuff in this book. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you did, and thank you for watching. I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!